Hello everyone, Andreas here. Just thought I'd make a video kind of in response to what Dereck was saying. I mean, what he has been saying, I should say. And just give maybe him and anybody who watches a different perspective. But first, I just want to say something. I mean, I appreciate, look, I'm wearing it. The Vinyl Community t-shirt. This is a warning to those who have purchased it. Don't dry it on high heat. As you can see, the screen print is kind of crackled. I don't have this problem with other t-shirts, but maybe, I mean, these guys are just starting out. They don't have all the equipment as far as heat setting the ink and stuff. Maybe they just air dry it. I don't know. But yeah, so don't dry it on high heat. Air dry it if you need to. But you know, I'm in the community, yo. So anyway, so Jeff, it's not knocking your friends. It's just it was my bad, you know. But it still has a vintage look. So I kind of wanted to opine on what Dereck has been saying with regards to religion and things of that nature. Now, I haven't had the experience that Dereck has with regards to religion, as far as having it brainwash me into, you know, and Dereck may disagree, but I mean, the way he expresses himself, or the way you express yourself, Dereck, it just seems as if that clouded your judgment to the point where you would sell your records thinking that they were evil, you know, things like that. I have never had that experience. Because I don't know, I mean, maybe it's a community thing, maybe it's a familial thing, but I've always been you know, pretty much kind of a loner, with respect to the way I think of things. You know, a lot of people agree with me sometimes, if I have advice or opinions or things like that, just because I educate myself and try to get as many perspectives as I can before I open my mouth. You know, there's a Twain quote that says something about better to be it's like something like better to be stupid and silent than open your mouth and remove all doubt. I kind of agree with that, and you know, but at times, being a human and an American, well, half American, I do remove all doubt, you know, just some of the things I say, you know, and my filter is flawed, obviously. So, at times I will say things that are controversial or disgusting, or, you know, I'm a funny guy, I guess. I mean, it's, you know, it's in my nature to make people laugh. That's what I like to do. I mean, that's one of my many purposes. Before I get into the religion, though, I want to talk about his music thing. Like, I really related to what he said about what you make of your instrument, and rather than the equipment. I do have, you know, a very nice rig now. Didn't start out that way, though. And sometimes I'll listen to like old recordings of like some old punk stuff, and I'll be like, man, I really like the sound of that. And it was like a, you know, generic bass and like some little combo, you know, like a Fender Silverface, like 60-watt bassman or something like that, which Chuck Berry uses to this day, you know. And I'm just like, man, I really like that sound. And sometimes I don't get that sound out of this, which, you know, I mean, eventually I am going to get an Ampeg head to match that cabinet. Hopefully 2, but you know, I'm not like a purist in that regards. But anyway, yeah, he's totally right. You know, if you are a musician, like there are so many of us here in the vinyl community, it's all about what you know. I told him in my comment, I'm the wolf man of this. I get the sounds I want out of this. Not all the time, but you know, when I'm really connected, like when I really feel that symbiosis with my instrument, I am. That is a religious experience for me, highly spiritual for you non-religious types. Segue. So I dabbled in church in my younger days, simply because I respected my older relatives, like my grandma, big example. I love my grandma. She's still alive today. She's actually in town. Gonna see her tomorrow. 94 years old. The sharpest woman I have ever met. I mean, she just has, you know, really quick wit even to this day. I mean, and she busts my chops all the time, which I love. You know, I just think it's hilarious. Like, you know, I love my grandma. You know, and that's she's been a churchgoer all her life. She goes to like a non-denominational or congregational church rather, and I have a lot of good memories of my youth in that. A lot of weird memories too, like just being there and everybody saying the prayers or singing the hymns, and I just remember even thinking then, like I'm like 7 or 8 years old, like these people are like robots or zombies or you know, I was a loner, I'm going to toot my own horn. I was gifted, you know, and I still kind of am to an extent. I was reading a lot, you know, I learned to read pretty early. Around that age, I started reading like Lord of the Rings and things like that. So, yeah, so I was a little ahead of the curve as far as that. When, you know, other kids were reading like, you know, Clifford the Big Red Dog, I was getting into like, you know, deeper literature, you know, starting to dabble in Shakespeare and things like that, you know. I think I did my 4th grade book report on Mein Kampf, which got quite a few head turns, but and I haven't read that book since. So, not that I would understand it, but I was really into, you know, I still am into history, and I'm getting sidetracked. Point being, I realized back then how much of a important thing it was to people, but at the same time how it didn't. It took the individual in each of us and blurred that line, practically erased it, and put everybody into a hive mind mentality, where everyone had one vision and one, you know, like opinion. And that, to me, it started to become very uninteresting, because that's what I like about being able to communicate, and being in a country where it's okay to have a difference of opinion, and voice it, you know, and not just be silent. I mean, I really empathize with countries that have had such stringent laws, you know, like, or regimes and things of this nature, like, to where if you don't think like this, you know, you're an enemy of the state, pretty much. So, with that regard, I think this country has it made. You know, I know it's fucked up. I know the leadership in this country, you know, but like I'm just now in my early 30s starting to realize how much the government affects my life. Like I had. Ever since I turned 18 and moved out, I had this thing, you know, like, how does the government really affect me, you know, like, me, not my, you know, I don't know, you know what I mean, like, they don't, they make their rules, they make their laws, I don't break them, you know, as far as they know. And it doesn't seem to affect me. I don't know why. I don't know. And maybe it's because I've never really been that super emotional, or you know, I've had my moments, trust me. But like I've never had this sweeping like effect. It's never had this sweeping effect on me. Like, you know, same with religion, same with politics. You know, I know, you know, Dereck is a voter. You know, he's been posting about that this week. I haven't voted since 2000. My faith in that system was shattered that year because of when Bush was elected the first time. So I will still vote. You know, and if given the opportunity, if there was an issue that came up in Oregon that removed the rights of like certain people, like, you know, like the gay marriage thing, or abortion, things of that nature, like I will get out there and voice my opinion. But how much it counts, I don't know. You know, I don't see the point by point, count by count thing. It's just always like a percentage, you know, and I'm just a statistic, and that irks me to no end. You know, I don't want to be that. I want to be an individual. I want to be who I am, which is kind of what has removed me from religion. Is because I don't want to. I mean, I want friends. You know, friends are important. You know, no man is alone who has friends, or woman. Sorry, ladies, but like, do I need to go to a building once a week just to see some people I kind of agree with? No, I don't. Do I need to take all of my life lessons from one book? No, I don't. Do I believe everything I read? Fuck no. Do I believe everything I see? No. I don't know. I just think there's something to be said about worshiping ourselves. And I know some people would call that Satanism, you know. But that's not necessarily true. It's like, we are the ones who came up with this concept, humans. You don't see a dog going to church, you know. You just don't, you know. And that's another thing that pisses me off, is like religion, like, basically takes all the other creatures and life forms on this planet and shits on them, you know. And it's like, that's another reason I moved out here. It's like, I like to go out in the woods. That's, you know, sometimes. I'm not a camper or anything, but I like to go on hikes or walks. I love to walk. I've expressed that before. And to me, that's a spiritual experience. Like, to be there amongst things like giant evergreens or things of that nature. Another reason I'm really excited about this trip I got coming up in a couple weeks. Like, I get to see the redwoods for the first time. Largest trees on the planet, you know. And just standing there and just being like, this thing's 1,000 fucking years old. Like, what am I, you know? Like, so, I mean, I don't knock people necessarily for following, because that's how some of us truly are, you know. Some of us have to do that in order to feel fulfilled. With, you know, I don't. You know, like, I'm kind of having a rocky time with this girlfriend thing right now. So it's like, it's kind of making me realize, like, you know, I care about people, but like, I've got to make myself happy. I've got to do what I've got to do to be happy. And right now it's collecting records. It's starting to write music again, thank God. You know, it's getting more passionate about my work, both personally and professionally. It's trying to make a difference, and that is important, Dereck. You know, it's important because, like you said, like, your spirit will live on. Like, your memory, you know, the things you say in these videos, I'm sure you've thought about this. Everything that we say here is going to last forever. Every little fuck up I've ever had, every little fuck up that you've ever had, is going to last forever in this intranet. This will be archived. This is an archive, much like our record collection. Hundreds of years from now, if we ever get off this planet before it blows up or disintegrates or whatever the fuck, all this data that we're putting out there is, you know, is going to be entertainment for people. It's going to be philosophy for some, you know. Maybe somebody will take something that you said, or something that I said, or something that any one of us said, and start a movement, you know. It's those little subtleties that do these things, you know. Like the Christianity really isn't just one man, you know. I mean, the Bible is 2 books, Old and New Testament, you know. In this country, all the focus is on New Testament, you know. But it wasn't Jesus Christ who started Christianity. You know, it was the people who took his story, if he even existed. And yeah, I know that's controversial. And built on it. Now think about if there was a polytheistic, if that was a majority, if say Zeus was still around, as far as being believed in, Zeus and all the gods and goddesses and things like that, or you know, long gone religions. Now there's, you know, of course there's Hinduism, which I've been kind of like reading about lately, and that is something that takes a lifetime to even get. You know, some say Christianity is the same way, but it's all in one book, you know, for the most part, and then the interpretation's thus, you know. I don't know. I just think us as humanity have the ability to take we're like oysters. We take a grain of sand and we just build and build and build and build and build and build and build until there's this pearl of something. It's not necessarily wisdom. It's just something that we have to have. We have to build. We have to create. We have to make things. We have to destroy things. You know, we have to do these things. It happens in nature. Things are built up and brought down. Unfortunately, man has taken that to the new level, and we're building up, but we're not bringing down fast enough. You know, and as a result, we have landfills and garbage. I don't even know, what is it called, that thing in the middle of the Pacific? The thing that's bigger than Texas. It's just trash. There's a few movies coming out about it. And there's already documentation. I'm going off on a bit of a tangent today, folks. I've got some new records to show, too. I'll go give you a sneak peek. This is what I'm going to listen to right now. Had to pick this up. Had to. It's beautiful. Another reason I had to pick it up, but I'll show you here in a bit. But so anyway, Dereck, there you go, man. I could talk on forever about this, and I probably will. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a bit of reflection as far as my experience. Just a tiny bit, obviously. But I love you very much, Dereck, and I really hope we get to meet one day. I would really like to just hang out with you for an hour. An hour only. Bullshit. Alright, man. Love you. Kisses.